Jesus was very clear. He went about doing good, not evil. This is Acts 10:38. He went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed of the devil. So once again, God good, devil bad. If it heals and delivers, it's God. If it steals, kills, destroys, it's the devil. Stop blaming God for what the devil's doing. That won't get us anywhere. When we see God as the problem or the instigator or the source of sickness and disease, it's impossible to get divine healing to work in our lives. So look at Jesus and look at the example He set and realize He is the image of the invisible God. He is the will of God manifested. And when He had a day with a group of people, what did He do? He taught them, He healed them, He loved them, He fed them, and He loved them some more, and He stayed there until He said goodbye to them. That's God. Not one time did He make anyone sick. Not one time did He kill anyone. So I just think we ought to make sure we are assigning the blame to the right personality. It's Satan that's come to kill, steal, and destroy. And I understand that not everyone that's prayed for healing automatically, instantly gets healed. And I understand that some people have prayed and not gotten their healing. I understand that. I live in this world and I get it. But let's not blame that on God. Let's not say that it's because God didn't want to in that situation. Let's not say that. Let's look elsewhere. There are things that need to be done, and there are connections that need to be made, corrections that need to be made. But let's not blame God and say that God wasn't willing for whatever reason that we could come up with, because that's really shifting the blame, and we're not going to get help if we blame God for things that He's not doing. All right, so let's go on. I'm going to read this again. Mark 1, verse 40. A leper came to Him, imploring Him, kneeling down to Him, saying, "If you are willing, you can make me clean." And so Jesus didn't do this to prove a point or to say, "I told you I was God." He was simply moved with compassion. God is moved with compassion. And some people think God is a holy God and all He does is make points and teach lessons. And no, He was moved with pure compassion. He cared about this leper. And this is powerful. He stretched out His hand and touched him. He was a leper. You understand, leprosy is contagious, highly contagious. If there's anybody you want to speak the word over, lay your hand over, maybe sprinkle some holy water on them or give them a cloth, it would have been a leper. What did Jesus do? He touched a leper. Why? Because He was moved with compassion. He is a hands-on God. He's the one that came up with the doctrine of healing. And He said in Mark 16 that in My name you'll lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. Do you ever wonder why that's part of the doctrine? That's one of the doctrines of the church, the laying on of hands. You know why? Because God likes to touch people. He wants to have contact with people. And since He's not here physically, He says, "You do it for me. Put your hands on them. Get close to them." You got to get close to people to put your hands on them. He didn't want us to be up here and the people down there. And the people have to grovel and come, a certain way. He said, "You go to them and you pray for them and you put your hands on them, because that is how you represent Me." He is a hand. I can't wait till we get to heaven. God's going to hug us and He's going to have His hands on us. He's going to look us in the eye. He's going to bring us up into His. He is an involved God, and I just can't say enough about it. There's more in this. Get the series.